Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Jada Toys, the Cyberpunk Edgerunners, David Martinez and Lucy action figures. These are 1/12 scale by Jada Toys. And we know at this point that Jada Toys makes some really good action figures. Their Street Fighter line kills it. They're so good. Scooby-Doo's going to be coming out soon. They did Universal Monsters. I don't have any of those. And then they've got some mascot figures like Chester the Cheetah. And then they did the cereal mascots, Franken, Barry, Count Chocula, and Boo Berry, I think it was. And then, of course, like Tony the Tiger is going to be the most recent one, which I don't have yet. Because I'm like holding off. I'm like, do I really need those in my collection? I don't really know. Tony the Tiger's in stock at Big Bad Toy Store, so I'm like on the fence. Like, should I just throw it into my pile of loot? Not really sure. I'm thinking about it. You guys let me know if I should. But I've heard so many good things about these two figures. So I partnered with Big Bad Toy Store to be able to review these for you guys and give you guys my opinions, my thoughts on these figures. I probably am going to be very biased because Jada Toys is just so good. The Street Fighter figures are so good. I can't imagine these ones not being good. So from that standpoint, yeah, it's probably going to make sense that these are going to be really good action figures because Jada Toys just kills it every single time. The thing is, I have not watched the show, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I believe it is a show on Netflix. I haven't watched it. I don't know what these characters are really all about. So keep that in mind as we do the review. I'm going to look at it from a purely action figure standpoint and not from the character standpoint. So my apologies from that. But I've heard it's good and I should watch it. I was just like binge watching all the Bourne movies, like, you know, the Bourne Identity and all of that, because I love those movies. So it kind of like took away my weekend. So at some point, I do hope to watch the show, but I have not yet. But again, shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store. Both of these guys are in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So links in the video description below if you're looking to pick these up. As you can see on the packaging, we get this bright yellow and black Cyberpunk Edgerunners. You can see Cyberpunk Edgerunners there. On the back of the package, it just looks like kind of the poster, and you can see all the characters and whatnot. And I think this guy, we've already seen him on display several times by Jada Toys, so we know that that guy is coming. And then we got some promotional art there for David and Lucy on the side. So let's go ahead and open these up and let's take a look. Okay, so here are the David and Lucy figures out of the package. So yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, it's Jada Toys. They're going to make some really good action figures. So let's go ahead and take each one individually. We'll take a look at Lucy first, and then we'll go on to David Martinez. He is really cool. The soft goods on him are really nice. This jacket is crazy good. Really good. So we'll take a look at Lucy and her accessories first, and then we'll take a look at David, and then we'll go into the articulation of both of them at the same time. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Lucy, and she looks pretty good. As you can see there, we get a couple of head sculpts, so she gets two different head sculpts here, so we kind of have kind of the more straight face, and then here, with a little bit of an expression, like her mouth is open there, and her hair is kind of flowing a little bit more instead of just kind of draped down. The soft goods on her is just like this jacket, coat, sweater, cardigan, I guess it would be. So it doesn't go over her shoulders completely, and it doesn't really wrap around, but it's still very cool. So it covers her arms and everything there, so that is pretty nice. In terms of accessories, I already swapped one hand out there. She's got this right hand that actually has a cigarette in it, and that's really cool because if you look at like the back of the poster, like the back of the box, she actually, you know, is holding a cigarette in her other hand, but we get it in this hand, which is pretty cool. So you got that hand for the right, and then you kind of have this kind of clawed like grip hand almost thing kind of there for the left, and then the other hands that we got, so we get a trigger finger hand for the right, and that's because she actually does come with a gun here, and this just looks kind of like a fairly realistic pistol. It's just black and blue, and you can see that she would be able to easily hold this in her hand like so that is cool there. Then you get is that a fist? Yeah, fist for the left, as you can see there, and then a trigger finger for the left as well, and then we get that kind of that clawed grip hand there for her right hand. So we got that, and then she also has these two pieces, and this is where my lack of knowledge in the show is going to come into play. So we have these pieces. I don't exactly know what these are. Do these go onto the gun? It does not. So does this clip on somewhere on the figure in our back? in her arms, perhaps somewhere in her body. If I pull those arms back, the head, where do these go? So I gotta look that up because I clearly do not have an answer on that, and I should. But whatever these are, I don't know if these are like some kind of whips or some kind of electrical thing or something there, but it's got bendy wire. That's really cool. And we get 2 of them. So again, my lack of knowledge, and forgive me, I need to find out what these are. So I will find out before the end of the video so I could properly discuss those there. So here we have the Lucy figure, and this looks really good. So let's go ahead and swap out the head. Just pop that off. Big, huge dumbbell joint there, as you can see. And then pop that head on there, and bam! We got that there. That looks a little crazed, too, so that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and take this cigarette hand off, because I'm scared to death I'm going to break that cigarette off. It's got a little bit of pliability to it, but we don't want to take the chance. Let's do this hand with the gun in it. And there we go. So again, she easily hold that in her hand, which is cool. And then looking at color-wise for bodysuit, some purple and some red in there. And then, you know, at first I almost thought these were like soft good pieces right there on the thighs. Those are just plastic and then sculpted and painted there, so nice texture to it. And then just kind of black and pink on her boots and armor pieces on her legs. So there we go for Lucy. Let's go ahead and jump on over into David. Okay, so figured it out. So the mono wire actually goes onto her forearm there. So I cheated and I looked up Wade's Unparalleled Universes review to find that out. So we can plug into her forearm there, and you can use that mono wire. And again, it is bendy wire, which is really cool because you can't tell that it's like bendy wire. So I don't know, like, it's the little wire and whatever the super thin like wire lining over it. So that is just really cool. I like that we could do that. And again, just ports right on into the forearm, and then she does have it on both forearms. I will admit though, it's difficult. I guess that wasn't so bad. You just got to start up here by her shoulder to roll up that sleeve, and then you could easily get it over there. So that's how you work the mono wire there. But that is the close-up look at Lucy, and she looks great. So let's go ahead and jump over to David. All right, so up close look at David Martinez. Here we have a couple of things going. He's got this gold chain that you kind of have to wrap around his neck a couple of times. We get 2 different head sculpts here. We have kind of that gritted teeth version, and here is just kind of that straight face look there for David Martinez, and that looks pretty good. There he has this this arm cannon piece, swappable piece. So it plugs right into the back of it, the top of his forearm. And then you can attach it there. And then, you know, when you're not using it, there is this little plug piece that ports right on in there. Let's see. Probably like that. And then covers up there on the forearm. And then you can just bring the sleeve back down and it's covered up. And that is pretty good there. In terms of additional accessories besides the, you know, that arm blaster thing, and then the extra head sculpt for David Martinez, we get an extra set of hands. So he's got fists on the package. He's got a trigger finger for his right, and then he's got a there he goes. He's got a grip hand for his left, and he comes with this blaster here. As you can see, the Lucy one looks more like a very realistic gun, whereas David's looks a little bit more futuristic. It's done in this light gray color with a little bit of red paint on there, and then with the trigger finger hand that he's got, let's see, put that in his hand like so. It holds it very easily there. Swap out the hands. Obviously, we just pull it out, and then you can port that on in. And the cool thing about this is he does have the vertical hinge on that trigger finger hand, which is good because I don't think Jada Toys gave us any vertical hinges. They also didn't have any guns, so you know, I guess that makes sense from that standpoint. But there is the David Martinez, and again, looking really, really good. The soft goods on him are crazy. Like, get this gun out of his hands. So the pants on there look pretty good. I don't know if you could take the pants off. You probably could. I don't know that it's going to be a very easy thing to do. Like these suspenders here, that's the belt is a hard plastic piece, which seems to really hold the soft goods pants in place. So I don't know that that's like an easy thing that you could remove, or if you even need to remove it or want to remove it. I'm not sure, but the coat absolutely can be removed, and we're going to go ahead and jump into that now. We're going to pull the hands off, and then we're going to get the arms back, and then just pull at the sleeves. And then you can be able to get that jacket off. But the jacket is just really nice. I mean, look at the back there. just look, it's so good. Like the material, it's like this nylon material. It almost feels like an actual raincoat kind of thing. So it's just crazy. But here is David Martinez. So looking at the body, obviously Jada Toys just does some amazing work in their action figures from a sculpting standpoint, from an articulation standpoint. They just do really good stuff. I gotta fix this chain. So this chain's gonna drive me crazy the way you have to like loop it around his neck. Oh, that's because that got stuck in there. So that threw it off. But you want to get the chain around there. There we go. I want to loosen that a little bit. I'm probably spending too much time on the chain, but you got the chain there, and then here you have his body. Let me get some better lighting in there, and all the points of articulation that you could want. But look at the crazy details in the sculpt work and then the paint work. So one thing that we saw with like the Street Fighter line is you get some crazy shading even throughout the body and the skin tone, and we see that here. So you could see some colors, like especially right here along his back, which looks pretty good. And then you kind of have whatever technology he has in his body there in his back, which is kind of crazy looking. So really good articulation that's mixed in there as well. But we're gonna go ahead and put the coat back on, and then let's go ahead and get into the articulation. Okay, so it probably does make more sense to do the articulation without the coat on. So we got David Martinez there. The head is on a dumbbell joint, so you can do all kinds of movement, pivot, swivel, look up, look down. The neck is on its own separate piece as well, so that's how he can get him to look down crazy amount, and does help looking up, which is good. The shoulder, you can get the shoulder to go straight on out like so, full rotation in there. You got a butterfly joint, which goes back only a little bit, but it does go back, and then going forward for some crossbody, as you can see there, which is good. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow, which is nice. Wrist swivel and hinge, standard horizontal hinge on the fists as well as the left grip hand. The right trigger finger hand does have the vertical hinge on there. So we get the diaphragm cut, and what I believe is a ball joint at the waist. So using the diaphragm and the ball joint, you can get David to tilt to his left that much there. You can get David to tilt to his right that much there, which is really good. And then leaning back, you can get him to go that far back, which is good. And then coming forward, let's see. Coming forward is that far forward. That is pretty good. There, you could swivel at that diaphragm a little bit, but then you could just get a little bit more swivel in that waist there. The legs go out, jeez, that far apart. That's crazy. Even with the soft goods, it's insane. He can kick forward that far, which is really good. The leg does go back a little bit. Let's see, there is an upper thigh cut in there. A double jointed knee gives you that much bend there at the knee, which is nice. There is the boot swivel right there at the boot as well, where the leg is. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So that is David Martinez's articulation. Really good. If we throw the coat on there, you get really good range of motion even still in the elbow. So even though you got this big coat, it's thicker in the front. You can see this gray layer, but behind the coat and in the sleeves and stuff, you don't get that extra layer. So throwing the coat on real quick, just so you guys could see the elbow articulation, you could still get that elbow to do a full double bend there, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Like even with the soft goods, usually the soft goods are going to hinder a little bit, but in this case, when it comes to David Martinez, it does not really stop a whole lot. So still really good range of motion there in the coat. Jumping on over into Lucy, we'll go over Lucy. So her neck has a separate piece as well, so she can look up that much there. She can look down that much there. You can go side to side, pivot, swivel, all of that good stuff. The arm, you can get the arm to go straight on out and upwards a little bit there. Full rotation, but keep in mind you have that soft goods coat. I forgot to mention this. There is a bendy wire here at the bottom of her cardigan sweater thing. There is a bendy wire in the zipper portion of David Martinez's jacket, by the way. So there is that. It's not at the bottom, it's just going to be up there at the top and then in the collar. So just heads up on that. She does have a bicep swivel in there, and then a double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow. All of her wrists have the, oh, no, what? Her trigger fingers do have the vertical hinge on them as well. So standard horizontal hinge on majority of the hands, but the trigger finger hands have the vertical hinge. She's got the ball joint at the waist and the upper diaphragm cut in there, but getting them to work together, she can tilt to her left an insane amount, like so, and then tilt to her right insane amount, which is just crazy. And then leaning back, she can lean back that far there, and then forward, she can come that far forward. So not a huge amount, but definitely better than we would see with any other toy company, really. Good swivel at that waist. The diaphragm doesn't have as good a swivel, but you could if you needed to. Legs go out that far apart, which is good. She can kick forward that far there. And then the leg does go back a little bit there. Thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there at the knee, which is quite nice. And then she has an ankle swivel kind of mid ankle just below her calf. You get that swivel in there. Foot hinges down. Little tiny bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet, this time closer to the toes. So there we go with the articulation for the two of them. Really good. And one thing I realized that I did not do is I did not take the little cardigan off of Lucy. So let's go ahead and go through that now. So we want to always remove the hands and then just pull down at the sleeves. I feel like this one's going to be definitely more difficult to put back on. But there we go. So you can see the bicep and then the double jointed elbows and then the pegs for the mono wire, which you could just, peg right back in like so. So there we go. So articulation on both of these, really, really good. Okay, so I want to do some side-by-side comparisons so you get a better idea of kind of the scale of these guys. They are 1/12 scale, so here we have the Maximum Series Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure to kind of throw in, and I realized, like, hey, that's, what about a female Marvel Legends figure? I just happen to have this one, so we'll just go with something animated. So here we have the Gwen Stacy Spider-Gwen next to Lucy, and as you can see there, Marvel Legends still a little bit taller, which I do think is the case when it comes to the Street Fighter stuff. So let's go ahead and see how David and Lucy compared to the Jada Toys Street Fighter line. Okay, and here is the side-by-side comparison with some Jada Toys Street Fighter figures. So we have Ryu here, and then we have Chun-Li there, and you can see Chun-Li is taller than Lucy, but David Martinez is taller than Ryu. So scale-wise, they probably work kind of all well together, but Jada Toys, again, is just making some of the best action figures there are. So the Jada Toys Street Fighter line is just killing it. Scooby-Doo is coming up. Universal Monsters I've heard really good things about. But here with the Cyberpunk Edgerunners, no difference. Really good articulation, solid attention to detail, good paint work. And then just so happens that the soft goods on these two are just really nice, especially David Martinez. Okay, so that's my review of the Jada Toys Cyberpunk Edgerunners, David Martinez and Lucy figures. Definitely very solid figures. Makes me really want to watch the anime on Netflix. I have not had a chance, so maybe I will get to it. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of these two figures? Have you picked them up? What did you think of the show? Do you highly recommend? Should I have already watched it at this point? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.